welcome everyone here. Recognize Mr. Richards to do our pledge and Mr. Williams to do our prayer.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, as we come here tonight, we'd like to thank you for this opportunity that you've given us. Thank you for being able to meet out and carry on the business of our school system. We'd ask you, Lord, as the school start time is approaching, that you would be with each of the staff that deals with our children. And I'd ask you to be with the students themselves. As we go through troubling times in our nation, we often wonder how long it would be till something could happen. And I would ask you to be with us all and be with the children as they go to school and protect them from harm and danger, and give us an ability as this board to do what would be the best for our most prized resource that we have, and that's our kids. Ever be with us and lead us and guide us, and we give you the praise for it all. Amen. Amen.
Does everyone have a chance to read the minutes? If so, we have a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Mark makes a motion. Mr. Second. Mr. Wood makes a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, the school financial statements, general fund bank reconciliation, and the bills and accounts. We have a motion to approve.
Second motion.
Mr. Williams makes that motion, have a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Tapper makes a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. No visitors, special programs, leave of absence.
Got one leave of absence. I recommend that you approve Ms. Trilla Norris, elementary teacher, Geraldine.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation, superintendent, on leave of absence. We have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Mr. Richards makes a motion, have a second.
Second.
Mr. Williams, second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Bids.
Got a couple of bids for LP gas, suburban propane, petroleum products, so I'll do those together to apply.
Yes.
If you look, we got the Excel sheet spreadsheet there. If y'all want to look at it, I think it's attachment 5A. The suburban propane, I'd like to recommend that we accept that. That was our low bid on LP gas, propane gas, so I'd like to recommend we enter into that contract with those.
All right.
And you'll see, I probably didn't explain, we had four Thompson gas, suburban propane, all gas, and Ida, and AmeriGas all put in bids, and you see the lowest bid there being suburban propane. So I'd like to recommend that we accept that bid.
All right, you heard the recommendation, superintendent, have a motion.
Motion.
Mr. Wood makes a motion, have a second. Mr. Pepper, second. Any discussion? How many schools we still have on propane? I know Sylvania getting on natural gas this time.
Yeah, we're Moon Lake, Henniger, and Sylvania, I think, with 3 schools. And Ida. Okay, Henniger's off. Okay, so we got 3 left.
All right, we have a motion, second. We have a motion, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There you go. Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Resignation.
Well, wait a minute, I didn't put the city blood on. The attachment 5B, the petroleum products, the oil, and 2 put in bids, City Bluff and Pearson. And you see the price per gallon, per bid price. I'd like to recommend that we accept that bid through City Bluff.
I see both oil being the low bids, and we have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Mr. Williams makes a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Mr. Richards, second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Now we're talking.
All right. Do this all together.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to recommend that we accept the following: Tricia Slayton, CMP worker, Geraldine, retirement; Annette Mashman, bus driver, Crossville, retirement; Lynn Haynes, PE health teacher, Sylvania, retirement; Lane Satterfield, bus driver, Geraldine, retirement.
All right, you've heard the recommendation, we have a motion. Mr. Wood makes a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Mr. Williams seconds. Any discussion? The only discussion I would have is that, I'm not sure why these people wait until school starts to retire. That causes some problems sometimes. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Transfers.
I'd like to recommend the transfer of Mr. Rob Hawley, secondary math teacher at Constable, to secondary math teacher at Fife.
All right, you've heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Mr. Richards makes that motion. Give a second. Mr. Wood makes a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
I'd like to recommend Ms. Crystal Henderson, elementary teacher at Geraldine, to transfer to the assistant principal at Geraldine.
And you've heard the recommendation, move Ms. Henderson from the elementary teacher to the Geraldine assistant principal. We have a motion.
Make a motion.
Mr. Richards makes the motion. Have a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Williams seconds. Any discussion?
I'd like to ask Mr. Taylor, Ms. Henderson will be working with Mr. Street on a day-to-day basis. And I have to ask the question, was this Mr. Street's number one choice?
It sure was. He said she had an excellent interview, and she's very committed to the school and has done an excellent job filling in her role as she's played right now. He felt compelled to think that she would be the best candidate, do the best job.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Okay, all placements are made pending a background review meeting suitability criteria and negative pre-employment drug screening and appropriate certification. I'd like to recommend Mr. Luke Griggs for intervention teacher at Collinsville.
All right, you've heard the recommendation, have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Pepperidge makes a motion, have a second.
Second.
Mr. Richards, I'll give that to Mr. Richards, have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Recommend Ms. Barbara Pointer, elementary teacher at Crossville Middle.
You've heard the recommendation, have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Pepperidge makes a motion, have a second.
Second.
Mr. Richards, seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Recommend Ms. Brittany L. Crumley, elementary teacher at Crossville Middle.
We have a recommendation, have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Pepperidge makes a motion, have a second.
Second.
Mr. Richards, seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Recommend Mr. Todd White, agri-science teacher at Crossville High.
We have a recommendation, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Pepperidge makes a motion, have a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Richards, seconds. Have kind of a pattern.
Yeah.
Any
Gotta keep this
discussion?
together here.
All those in favor say aye. All those in favor say
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
I'd like to recommend Ms. Ashley Crum, elementary special ed teacher, itinerant at Geraldine.
You've heard the recommendation. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Richards makes a motion, have a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Pepper, second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Recommend Mr. Cameron Mitchell, agri-science teacher, Geraldine.
All right, you've heard the recommendation, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Richards makes a motion, have a second.
Second.
Mr. Williams, seconds. Glad to have you with us, sir.
Glad I could be part.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
I'd like to recommend Ms. Felicia Hurd, elementary special ed teacher, itinerant Hyder Special Services.
Thank you for the recommendation, have a motion. Mr. Wood makes the motion, we have a second.
Second.
Mr. Williams, seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Recommend Ms. Katie Willingham, elementary teacher, Rupan.
For the recommendation, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Williams makes the motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Richards, seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Recommend Ms. Sheena Daniels, intervention teacher, Plainview.
You've heard the recommendation, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Williams makes a motion, we have a second. Mr. Wood makes a second. We have, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Recommend Ms. Amanda Lee, high school counselor, Valley Head.
You've heard the recommendation, we have a motion.
I make a motion.
Mr. Richards makes the motion, we have a second. We have a second. Motion dies like a second. Next.
Recommend Ms. Taylor Gilbert, elementary special ed teacher, itinerant, Valley Head.
You've heard the recommendation, we have a motion. Mr. Wood makes the motion, we have a second.
I second.
Mr. Richards seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Recommend Mr. Heath Call, secondary history, Collinsville.
You've heard the recommendation, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Pepperidge makes that motion, we have a second.
I'll
Mr.
second.
Wood seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Recommend Ms. Elizabeth Higgins, elementary teacher, Moon Lake.
You've heard the recommendation, we have a motion. Mr. Wood makes the motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
Mr. Richards seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Support.
I'd like to recommend Ms. Bree Torres, migrant pre-K Crossville Middle.
All right, you've heard the recommendation, we have a motion. Mr. Jefferson makes the motion, we have a second.
Second.
Mr. Williams seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Volunteer coaches.
Recommend Mr. Matthew Ogle to help with football at Valley Head.
All right, you've heard the recommendation on volunteer coaches, we have a motion. Mr. Wood, did you make the motion?
This is hard, but I will.
Mr. Wood makes the motion. Wow, I'm so excited.
I'll second.
Mr., I'll give that, Mr. Williams. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Superintendent's recommendations.
Got just a few things in our packet here, 4 things we need to quickly go over. We've got the Farmers Telephone Co-op, the hold harmless agreement that we need to go into agreement with them for the network engineering and the operational review. More or less in Sand Mountain terms, they're going to give us a free evaluation of our network, and they're going to give us some recommendations for best practices and operations and recommendations for growth about how to do that. What they just don't want to do is, as they come in and they might overlook something, they just don't want to be held liable for anything that they might possibly miss if you come up that they had overlooked. But they're going to freely evaluate what we've got and give us recommendations about what we need to do to make it the best it can be.
I like that word, free.
Yeah.
I do.
That's
So I-
on me, okay.
We've got that in there if you'd like to look at it. I'd just like to recommend that we enter into that agreement with them.
All right, you've heard the recommendation, have a motion. Mr. Williams makes the motion, have a second.
I second.
Mr. Richards seconds. Any discussion?
I don't blame them, cover themselves.
Yeah, that's good. All right, we've had a motion second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Attachment 9B, if you look real quickly, as the dual enrollment equivalencies, these are in our policies. These classes have got a line with the crosswalk so that the kids can get the credits, that we have to make sure the standards match. These are grades 10 through 12. And of course, the paragraph there's got a few caveats for that, for the teachers of the dual enrollment. But I'd just like to recommend we adopt this into our policy, that these equivalencies are what they are.
Can this be passed out to students that are interested in it? Heard the recommendation, superintendent, we have a motion to approve. I guess we'll read it first.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Williams makes a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Wood seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. I've heard a lot of interest in this from a lot of different students.
The good thing is they can take a class, and if we align the standards, they can get credit for 2 classes. so it's really good, getting college credit and stuff. So, on the item 9C there, we had to make a correction to the preschool aide salary schedule. When we first got it from the Office of School Readiness, I think a couple of years ago, they had a figure that they had given us. It was $18,032.58. They have since come back and updated their salary matrix, and it's 42 cents off. So I'd like for tonight, we typically lay things on the table for 30 days. This is just a simple fix. We just need to up this thing 42 cents and bring it in line with what the salary matrix is. So I'd like to recommend that we suspend the rules first for laying things on the table for 30 days just for this item.
You've heard the recommendation to suspend the rules. We have a motion.
Make it.
Mr. Richards makes a motion. Mr. Williams seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Okay, now I'd just like to recommend that if you look at the updated attachment 9, so there's two pieces. The current one that we're going by, the long Excel spreadsheet is this one. And then the current, the new updated version, the requirements of the Office of School Readiness is right behind that. This is the first class salary for the aide work is $18,033.
Looks like they've rounded that up.
They have. So I'd just like for y'all to give Mr. Cooper the authority to fix that on the salary matrix, starting effective tomorrow.
You've heard that recommendation. Do we have a motion? Mr. Williams motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Richards seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
Okay. And just one more quick thing, we're going to have about maybe 4 or 5 jobs lingering that we need to get done, potentially in the beginning of the school time. I'd just like to ask for permission to place any board approval.
I think those positions, and this is not wholly necessary, but it's assistant principal point of view. Henninger has a half counselor, half special ed, math, and so on. DeKalb, the posting date hasn't been completed on that. So this would basically be allowing the superintendent to make those appointments before the next meeting. The next meeting's going to be in the middle of next month. So there may be some transfers possibly. What do we do on those? Do we have a shorter time limit to?
Once school starts, when school simply go 7 days for those ones.
All right, you've heard the recommendation. We have a motion to approve these placements. Any board approval? Mr. Wood makes the motion. We have a second. Mr. Richards second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Board members, any board members have anything? School's gonna start within, next week? So that's gonna be exciting, I'm sure, for everyone. We're excited too. I know I have a son that's gonna be a junior this year, and he's really excited.
You're getting old.
Yeah, I am. Let's see, I don't think I've got anything else. All right, DA.
I would like to thank all of you for allowing me to be involved with the new employee orientation and for working with me on letting me do the things that we wanted to do for the new employees. I really appreciate everybody working with me. I have one question. Did you say the dual enrollment equivalencies is going to be a policy?
Well, I did, but that was a mistake. It's just, it'll be our guide for the dual enrollment. It won't necessarily be a policy. It'll be something we will follow until further notice.
Okay.
Yeah.
We already have a policy.
Yeah, we have a policy. This is just updating what the equivalencies will be, what the classes align with.
Anything else? Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for allowing us to speak to you. Thank you for notifying the support people of the new employee orientation, because that hasn't been done in the past. We appreciate that. And also on this salary schedule, I know it's only 46 cents change, but we would like to have a copy of that, please.
Sure. Get it to you as soon as we get done.
Okay, thank you.
What's the date on the orientations?
The orientation is on, it's for new teachers or new employees, it's Tuesday, it's at 1 o'clock, and it is at the Northeast in the new building, which is running around, have it on campus. It's after, Institute, which is over that day.
What's the date on that? Is it-
Cool.
If I may speak, I know that there's no, it's AG 106.
The date of our next meeting, we need to make that on the 25th. There's going to be we're doing the BYOB at Sylvania at 6. Mr. Williams is going to be out of town until later. And so what we'll do is have the board meetings at 7, and that will be at Sylvania lunchroom. It's okay with everybody.
So August 25th at 7. Okay. And,
It's be Sylvania, probably in the lunchroom, I suppose.
We'll also do a vote hearing with that.
Yeah. When do you want to do that? You want to do that before that, I guess?
Yeah, he's not going to put it in there for that time.
We got all that.
Just raise your hand and come on up, get ready.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Wood makes a motion to adjourn, have a second? Second. Mr. Pepper, second, all in favor, say aye. Aye.